BankservAfrica is the largest automated clearinghouse in Africa. We're situated in Johannesburg and we've been in operation for nearly 40 years now, or just over 40 years. We are responsible for all interbank clearing settlement, the actual low value transactions. Those are all transactions under the value of 5 million rand. Transactions over 5 million rand is cleared directly through the Central Bank of South Africa, the South African Reserve Bank. Our shareholding is mainly split into two sections. Our large volume banks, which consist of the 4 large volume banks within South Africa, and then we have a smaller shareholding of 7.5%, which belongs to the smaller volume banks called a group called Dandy Shelf. The large volume banks are FNB, Absa, Standard Bank, and Netcor. Those are the large volume banks. We, from a Bankserv perspective, our vision in life is to try and make transaction processing simple and introduce simplicity into the marketplace. We are responsible for interbank local transaction clearing settlement only. We don't interface into clients. We don't drive any devices, POS or ATM devices. So we are purely a back-end switch from a processing perspective in South Africa. When ACI announced the sunsetting of Base 24 Classic in 2008, we started looking at, or started planning what we're going to do into the future. Our first initial idea was to obtain an extended maintenance agreement with ACI on Classic, but when they announced the final sunsetting of Base 24 Classic, we were faced with a decision regarding to migrate to EPS or look at the alternative solution. And from a Bankserv perspective, at that point in time, we started with the evaluation process of identifying a suitable alternative to Base 24 Classic. The key requirements, first of all, had to meet our business functionality, the current business functionality. It also had to provide for a possibility to look at our future strategic business requirement. That was one of the key drivers. The other key driver was that from a Bankserv perspective and the performance and our SLA that we've maintained over the last couple of years, the product had to be reliable, it had to be stable, and we were really looking for something that would take us into the future as well, that gave us flexibility to adjust and to make changes to the environment the way that we need to do so. We had a look at 6 solutions. We didn't go into full RFP, but what we decided was rather to use the evaluation criteria which we used initially when we did the migration from our original SaaS switch system to Base 24 as a guideline for evaluating a product, suitable product. We had a look at 6 products, being Distro, ACI, the Base 24 EPS, Postillion S1, S1 Postillion. We also looked at OpenWay, and 2 other products which I can't remember at this point in time, Opus, and I can't remember, but there were 6 products that we evaluated at that point in time. And the 6th one was Lusis, okay? But I must admit that Lusis only came into the picture quite late in our evaluation process. It was only, well, in fact, Bankserv was already very close to make a recommendation to our board of directors which solution to go, and at that point in time the choice was between EPS and S1 Postillion. When HP came to us and informed us of a strategic partnership which they have formed with Lusis, and they were in the process of migrating the Tango solution onto a not-stop environment and requested us to look at that, that's when we only started looking at Lusis at that point in time and started evaluating Lusis as a possible alternative to Base 24 Classic. I think when we started looking at Tango, we looked at the real functionality, what we believe Tango could offer us in South Africa, or can offer us Base 24, as a Base 24 replacement. From a Base 24 perspective, we always had to license a lot more functionality that we needed, because Base 24 is really a total banking solution, and where we were looking for something that could address our specific needs as a backend switch. Lusis provided us that opportunity. Lusis, from an architectural perspective, being service-oriented architecture, the fact that we were owners of the source code and we were able to do development on the Lusis product without using Lusis as a vendor to do that for us, as long as we don't touch at core components of the system. The functionality of that alone actually sort of were really what we're looking for. The other thing that was very important is the licensing structure of Tango, where from a Base 24 perspective and the S1 perspective, the licensing was based on transaction volumes, where in the Lusis case, it was really you license the software and it doesn't matter what the amount of transactions are that you process through the system. So that was also very, very key to us, and that because of the nature of our business, we were always looking for solutions, and to save money, this was really a real opportunity to take it to the next level.